Man, how to fumble the bag in 2.5 seconds with Miles Bridges, man. Let's get into this context.
Talk off the field, smoke his ass, nigga talk low. Nigga talk off the field, smoke his ass, nigga talk low. Now let's be facts.
So Miles Bridges was hit with domestic violence and child abuse charges after he allegedly attacked his girlfriend in front of the kids. So if you want a master class on how to fumble the bag, or potential bag I should say, just follow Miles Bridges, all right? So she's alleging that he choked her until she passed out, broke her nose, and gave her a concussion. Y'all remember that Ray Rice elevator situation? Whatever happened to his career after that? Or anybody else who's been alleged or accused of any type of domestic violence against their woman? Whatever happened to their career after that? Chris Brown, I could say he withstood it, at least somewhat, but his career never been the same after what he did with Rihanna. What do you think is gonna happen to Miles Bridges, bro? Like, come on, man. And this is my main thing. Like, I don't understand these athletes, bro. I don't get these people, son. And this is another case of people around him. Like, he don't have real friends around him. Cause here's my thing, all right? Here's my thing. Just hear me out, all right? I understand we all have a lapse in judgment. We're human, all right? I'm never gonna fault anyone for having a lapse in judgment, or having a lapse in emotion, I should say. All right, I'm not gonna fault you for that, but in the moment, son, you have to think about yourself. Think about the standing that you're in, Miles Bridges. All right, just think about it. Okay, I'm gonna talk to him right now. All right, I'm gonna talk to this guy. Think about the standing that you're in right now. You're about to be a free agent. You're about to potentially get a nice ass multi-million-dollar contract. You gonna squander that shit to what he did? He choked her, broke her nose, and gave her a concussion. You about to squander that multi-million-dollar contract to beat your girl up? And that makes sense to him. Like I said, I won't fault you for having a lapse in judgment, but at the same time, you really have to think about that shit. You really got to think about the repercussions of that. I understand, relationships get hectic, it get tense, the tension builds and builds and builds, but as a man, you can't have this lapse in judgment. Or you definitely can't have it to this extent, bro. You can't do that shit. And you're a professional NBA player, public figure, this is gonna be all over the damn news. And I could say Miles Bridges was a good player. And yes, I'm using was, all caps, because this is past tense now. I honestly don't see any team signing him now. I would be very surprised if the Hornets re-sign him, but I would be very surprised if his career goes on without any turmoil after this. Like, bro, he's about to lose his job.
You about to lose your job.
Go for it. Miles Bridges, bro, you're about to lose your job. And if he does end up in jail, I just saw this today, he's facing 11 years and 8 months if he's convicted. Now, he was a good NBA player, right? So maybe the elites in the Charlotte Hornets organization might pull some strings to get him out of that. But either way, how could any other team sign him with that glaring thing? And it's unfortunate, yes, because it's not basketball related, but once you become such a public figure, bro, everything you do is related to your career. Everything you do can affect your career. That's why you got to realize you have something to lose. You can't have those big lapse in judgment like that, bro. And this is one thing I wanted to bring up, because it's a minor fact, but it's still important to bring up. He did this. He abused his girl in front of his kids. Now, I don't know about y'all out there, but I've come to the realization that seeing your parents do certain things, you're going to be more likely to inherit those things. Or you're gonna be more likely to think that what your parents did, Miles Bridges, or Miles Bridges did, you would think he is okay to do that same thing. Or they're forever gonna have some scorn towards their father. They're forever gonna have some negative viewpoint of their father because of this shit right here. Imagine how damaging that shit is, bro. To see your father beating up your mother right in front of your damn face. Imagine how scarring that is for kids, bro. Young ass kids, bro. Just imagine that shit, bro. Cause I know a lot of people could be in a very fortunate situation to say they've never experienced that shit. But if you could put yourself in someone else's shoes, just imagine that. And here's the thing too. If you can't imagine your parents doing it, imagine you out in public, a random ass day, whatever, just a random day, and you seeing a guy beating up a girl. Imagine how scorned you are, or you could have been, especially if it happened at a young age. You're scorned by that shit. You're damaged. That's mental damage right there. This is another thing I did check because I just wanted to make sure. So the Hornets didn't pull the offer off the table. Like I said, he's a free agent, so he could re-sign or sign to another team, whatever the case is. And if he signs the 1-year deal, it's worth $7.9 million. So if all things play out fine in his favor, he could still end up with a $7.9 million deal for 1 year. Now, if everything doesn't play out in his favor, he's about to face pretty much 12 years in jail and no $1 million contract. That's another thing. You gotta weigh those damn options. Because I know he knew about that $7 million deal he was about to get. I know he knew about that shit. So you, in the moment, you're like, okay, I'm about to, have a very big lapse in judgment. But no, I got that pretty much $8 million contract waiting for me for 1 year. 1 freaking year, bro. Imagine that. Like $8 million for 1 year. That's a separate story, but I'm just saying, like, it gotta click up here, bro. Like, I'm not about to waste my future doing no damage to my girl over an $8 million fucking contract. That's crazy to me still. $8 million for 1 year. But let me know what y'all think. I'm curious about this because it's like, I understand, like I said, I understand. We're human. I get it. But in the back of your mind, man, that $8 million contract looking good, bro. That $8 million contract looking good, man. I'm not about to squander this shit. I'm not about to do that. Fumbling the bag at an all-time high, bro. But let me know what y'all think. Made it to the end. Leave a comment. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. We're taking this shit to the top, like I said. More videos coming soon, man.